at all, or just like an E in?
No, he just YOLO'd into everything. He chased someone over the keep wall, got the kill with like the damage over time, then on the hit point, and moved back. Okay, we're jumping in. So, all right, everybody. So, party time, semifinal number 1. And yeah, tetcher changed a little bit, as you can see. So today we're here with Michael. We have actually not Cursed Hollow as our first map. Sorry, things got a little bit chaotic as we started into this. Infernal Shrines is map number 1. So I'm gonna adjust that real quickly. But yeah, semifinals, best of 3 series. We obviously are on day number 2 now. We're starting things with Team Memory versus Mushrooms. So it is China versus Korea. And yeah, should make for some interesting meta, Michael. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Infernal Shrines, definitely one of my favorite maps to watch. You're always going to see heroes that have point control and kind of, point power. Someone like an Alexstrasza, someone like a Gazlo going to be highly prioritized. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Gazlo ban. I mean, we do see Chromie being one of the first bans. Really strong hero, especially with slowing sands on this map, as well as really long range. And it looks like the Ana is going to be banned as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised maybe to see another, some sort of a Stukov. I do know that is going to be pretty high prioritized, and since the Ana is taken away, maybe they want to even up that, kind of the S tier supports and take it away for both teams. I would be curious to see what ends up happening there. Khaldor, Murra is going to be the next ban though. I mean, you're right. They do love their bird.
Yeah, we had it yesterday quite a lot. They really like it at the front line there. So he didn't appear in a ban position yesterday, but still early on for him. Stukov gets banned as well, as I said yesterday, also top support for them. Outside the fact that we actually didn't see Gazlo banned yet, what do you think about the fact that Gazlo is now so highly valued, at least in the Western scene, that you oftentimes see him as one of the early bans? Because I am always worried a little bit when one of those specialist heroes ends. I don't know, we don't have that category anymore, but I mean, everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm always a little bit worried when one of those heroes ends up in a position where he is so ingrained in the meta that it's pretty much a must-have pick or ban.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it can be unhealthy for like the scene, right? Or it's kind of like something like a Nova or Zeratul as first ban, where it's not very fun for people. I mean, the thing about Gazlo is games are going later. It's pretty much guaranteed to go later, and that's kind of why he's better. But it does look like the Anduin is going to be first picked. I mean, they see the support choke, and they do want to secure that best support for them. But it does look like the Diablo and Greymane follow-up. I mean, that looks like a pretty solid first start to an Infernal Shrines comp, in my opinion. I do think Diablo gets a lot of opportunities for devastating charges here on this map.
I mean, the thing is that Capybara apparently is really known for his Diablo plays in particular, so he picked it yesterday also quite a lot, so it's definitely a personal preference of his. The same is, by the way, true for Railgun. Railgun's Anduin is insane. Like, he made plays yesterday, left, right, and center, and kept the team alive in situations where I would have bet money on them getting all wiped off the map. So he was just crazy. Therefore, it doesn't really surprise me at all that they go for that pick here again. And I could honestly see that being banned against him. Just like one of those things we talked about earlier between the games, that you have sometimes a player on a team that excels on a hero so much that you ban something out that you would not ban against any other team.
Yeah, just because that individual player is so good on it. I will be curious to see what the ban here is, though. Maybe a support would be kind of what I like. I mean, 2 supports have already been banned. They did secure the Anduin. Maybe taking away something like a Deckard, maybe a Malfurion. Okay, it looks like it is going to be the Lucio. Looks like they don't really want to be chased down, as the Diablo Greymane with Lucio speed in could definitely be pretty scary. I do like the Rainer pickup, though, to be able to chunk down Diablo, right? Diablo, a hero that is very tanky, and you need some sort of % damage, consistent auto attack. Rainer, one of the best at that. I do like that DPS pickup.
I wonder if they play Kel'Thas again. They didn't play it on this map, but we actually had Praise the Sun playing Kel'Thas yesterday on Volskaya, and there it is. Yes.
Oh,
Kel'Thas in play. Here we go.
Khaldor, I don't know if you know, but I am a Kel'Thas one trick these days. Like this season, I have like 80 Kel'Thas games, and my next closest is like 20. I actually think this hero is really, really strong. It's also a lot of fun, but the thing about Kel'Thas, it hits a really, really strong, like level 16, level 20 power spike. And games consistently, because of the XP change, because of the fort change, games are going later. So I like this Kel'Thas bit. It also looks pretty good with a front line of Diablo and Blaze to kind of help peel for him. I do think this is a really good KT map as well. So I'm excited to see what Praise the Sun is going to do.
Yeah, you need to talk to Mena. Mena is going to teach you the path of Kel'Thas. He's the only one in Europe that believed into the hero when nobody else did. But we got our last pick, so let's round this up as we're heading into game number 1. So we got Kel'Thas, we got Blaze, Diablo. That's a lot, or a pretty fiery setup. And Alexstrasza. Okay, Dragon Queen to come in last here, Infernal Shrines. So ladies and gentlemen, draft is ready. Let's jump into game number 1 of the best of 3 series. As I said before, China going up against Korea here. And let's see who makes it to the grand final. Infernal Shrines coming up next. Alright, let's get the show on the road.
Nice.
Okay, so apparently Team Mushroom got Bo's first pick and map pick as a penalty for memory coming in late.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, that is a pretty big advantage. I mean, like being able to choose what map you get first pick on. I mean, it looks like they were able to get the first pick Anduin, as the Stukov and Anna were both banned away. So, I mean, I don't know if that went according to plan, but they definitely have a really good composition with the ETC, Diva, a backline of Junkrat and Raynor, and then the Anduin to kind of help save anyone. But I mean, I actually personally kind of like the comp of the red team here. I just think they have so much point pressure when it comes to, you know, Alexstrasza being able to pop the dragon, and I just think they're definitely going to be set up to win these shrines.
Alright, game number 1, everybody. Memory versus Mushrooms. Infernal Shrines is the map, and on the left side we got Yagaras on ETC, Zero on Diva, Black Cat on Junkrat, Sungkran on Reyna, and Railgun popping off on Anduin yesterday more than only once. Sorry, on the hero. He has it once again, so we can see if he can maybe perform on the same level once more. Capybara on Diablo. We got Abdo on Greymane, Praise the Sun on Kel'Thas, Crow on Alexstrasza, and Jackpot is playing Blaze. Yeah, let's get the party started. Level 1 already. Ace in the hole for Jimmy. So it's always a little battle between Exterminator and Ace in the hole, even on a map like Infernal Shrines. Where do you lean on that discussion, Michael?
I mean, I generally feel like you're going to want... I mean, they have so much point control, or not point control, but basically the little minion clear with Junkrat and Diva. So I'm okay with them going Ace in the hole here. I feel like it kind of depends on what your team needs. And since it does look like they have a lot of wave clear, but Praise the Sun, okay, he is going to be able to get out. I mean, I generally feel like Exterminator is better, but I think Ace in the hole, I mean, if you need that damage, it is going to be, you know, pretty good. So I think it's kind of just dependent on what your team needs in that game.
Well, already, Dibbles maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Tries to push his way out. So far, so good. So, well, outside of that, we have actually on level 1 the Guitar Hero also for ETC. So not going into Prog Rock. Trying to lock down Jackpot in the middle, and he is eating a ton of damage, but Dibbles comes in and helps out, so no kill at least this far.
Actually going a bit deep. It looks like Diva, LZ Prizzo is going to be looking to do damage. APDO is going to get healed up by Crow. He's going to be able to back out Diablo. Both teams just trading here. And one thing I do want to know, both teams, or the red team, Kel'Thas and Alexstrasza both are really trying to get a lot of globes in this early game. We have the Circle of Life quest as well as the Mana Addict. That does mean we're going to have a lot of scaling, a lot of, you know, Mana Addict globes going the way of Praise the Sun once Alexstrasza has gotten 20 globes. Which, I mean, as a Kel'Thas player, I love that. Ultimate scaling, you know, you're going to have a huge shield into the late game.
I think yesterday on Volskaya he had like 55 stacks on that thing. So
what?
He walked around with a massive shield. If I'm not mistaken, he actually never died. I remember distinctly that towards the late game, like 25 minutes in, he was the only one that didn't die, and I don't think he died afterwards either. But now here comes the fight for the camp, and they actually take it. The Mushrooms have it. They try to go for ETC, but Anduin is there, and ETC spreading the love here, so some extra damage for Railgun. But yeah, definitely something to watch out for and see how many stacks he can get together this time on his level 1.
Yeah, so I mean, the red team was able to secure the bot camp here. It looks like they are going to use that pressure to rotate over towards their hard camp in the top right. Would love to see the blue team as well. I mean, generally around 230, you're always going to want to start this bruiser camp for both teams just to get out that pressure. It looks like Raynor is going to be walking over to do it, but he might be a bit late here. The red team could potentially use this to get a you know, advantage on the shrine, but it does look like they are just going to hold the cap a bit, actually, as Greymane is a bit low here. I mean, is there one team, Khaldor, that you prefer or favor going into this first objective?
Honestly, I mean, with the wave flare that they have, I feel it depends a little bit on Junkrat. I like the displacement that we have on the side of the blue team. You have ETC for the slide, and if they can follow that up with a nice Junkrat mine, then I think they can set a kill up. But for now, they already have to sacrifice the bomb right here. A bit of damage against Jackpot. And the blue team takes control for now. I honestly think that the blue team is set up initially could be really, really strong here, exactly for those plays. Junkrat, if he can isolate Khaldor, then that's pretty much fight done already.
Yeah, and it looks like Junkrat has been doing a really good job. You know, every time Alexstrasza throws down that abundance, that circle of healing, you know, looking to step up and get a boop. 11 minions are going to be going the way of the blue team. It actually is going to go up to 15. Keep your eyes on the bottom right, guys, as it is going to be 16-6. Both teams, ETC falling low here. Khaldor, Praise the Sun, is going to follow up, but going to be saved by Railgun on the Anduin. D.Va kiting out here. Khaldor, it looks like it's getting intense here. Both teams approaching level 7.
Yeah, nearly getting the next talent, and Diablo with the engage again, completing the quest as well on top of it, and they're going for the backliners here. Reyna already in a bit of trouble. ETC is taking a lot of damage too. Tons of AoE coming out now from the fire heroes on the other side in particular. Blaze on the other hand, he is isolated, but he's still able to jet propulsion out, and ETC gets toasted. That's the power of Alexstrasza right there, popping the Dragon Queen, and they get the kill and take control of the shrine.
Yeah, 31 looks like they are going to be able to secure this objective. D.Va already rotating to the mid lane. I think that is the correct decision, giving it up. And that's, you know, that's the power of Alexstrasza on this map, is it's so difficult to fight into that dragon because you don't have enough sustain, right? If you can't one-shot someone, you're not going to be able to out-sustain them. And, you know, I think it may just get more difficult with time. I mean, once they get Blaze Bunker as well as, you know, potentially APOC, it looks like Raynor is going to pull the Punisher on over. John Cena, you know, punching into him. Raynor is just going to be a clearing up, though. I mean, they're only going to get the front wall, it looks like. These protectors have been nerfed a bit in the past, so it is difficult. You know, we used to see people potentially go for forts here. ETC, maybe looking for a kill. Praise the Sun is just going to stun Kite out. Diablo looking at Raynor, but is, you know, looks like both teams just going to back off, go back to rotates. Expect to see them take their siege camp here, and then maybe potentially look to pressure into that bot camp as well.
Yeah, and during the fight, I mean, honestly, as I said before, if the isolation of through Junkrat happens for a kill, then I think they can take it. But outside of that, the Alexstrasza Dragon Queen is just a bit too strong there. But you could already see how Railgun on his Anduin is just really doing a great job saving people. And he's going to be the one that will try and deny a lot of that CC that gets pushed onto the blue team by their opponents. They used one single medallion during that entire encounter. Only ATC had to pop his cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, that is big to know, as it is like a CC chain comp, right? You do have Diablo, Khaldor, and Blaze, so saving those medallions for later team fights is going to be, you know, I think a pretty good decision. ETC is going to slide in. It is barely going to miss. Praise the Sun, not going to be able to hit that gravity lapse. D.Va, though, does have the mech, so should be okay here. Able to just walk out. Level 10, approaching nearly for both teams. Blaze rotating down, potentially looking for a flank. It is a 4v5 here. They need to be careful. Diablo going in. The huge Blaze stun in the backline is going to hit too. Are they going to be able to get the Raynor, though? Looks like he is just gonna be able to back out. Level 10 has been achieved. Crowd, you know, stage dive actually instead of mosh pit is a pretty big thing to note. Maybe they'll be looking to dive the Khaldor as well as the backliners with that.
Light bomb ETC stage dive. There we go. I've seen it. I mean, we've pretty much seen it with the falling sword on Johanna. I've not seen it yet pulled off with the stage dive. So
I was just gonna say, does it work with the stage dive?
I have no idea. I've neither seen it nor have I seen it tried before. So we'll find out, I suppose. I mean, you don't have to play it that way, but it would be kind of awesome if it works. It would be a little bit counterintuitive, to be honest. If you see a stage dive, you expect ETC to be a bit more in the side lane and then move in. And so Anduin is not going to be with him in the first place, but it would be kind of funny.
Split pushing.
It would be kind of just like funny for like, just like for science. Have that move into the back line.
Yeah, no, I mean, potentially, I mean, they do have the D.Va. So, I mean, even though he did go stage dive, he is still probably going to be playing with the 4-man. So he could potentially look for it. The only thing I wonder is it looks like it is a 2.75 second delay for the stage dive, and it looks like the light bomb goes for like 1.5 seconds. So you'd have to like perfectly time it. But the Bruiser camp is going to be taken out here again by both teams. Really good rotations. I mean, coming out by both teams. I've been impressed with their camp timing as well. The red team was able to secure the bot siege pretty sneakily, which I did like. Oh, Junkrat in the bot lane though. Khaldor with the follow-up. Junkrat falling low, lightning breath.
Nice. That was a cool kill here. Khaldor and then also lightning breath right here. By the way, coming back to the point, despite the fact that they actually had a bit of a tough time in that first fight, look at the stacks that we're seeing for Praise the Sun. He's sitting at 29 already, and we're only 8 minutes into the game, so he's really doing a good job again on those globes. And of course, with that 5 versus 4 situation in their favor, they're also looking fantastic for another potential Punisher that he could take.
Yeah, I mean, 23 minions are going their way. 25, it looks like they are probably going to be able to secure this objective. Is a 45, ETC is going to get slid. Good save coming out by Railgun here, though, but it's not going to be enough for the objective. Black Cat walking back in. One thing I do want to know, Pyroblast coming out by the Kel'Thas. I am a huge Pyroblast believer, especially into heroes like Junkrat, especially into, you know, like, because you can one-shot him. If he ever gets one stun on Junkrat, hero's just dead. So, I mean, we'll see how it, you know, plays out. I mean, D.Va, if she's in position, can potentially help mitigate that, but Raynor is going to get gone on. Good KT stun. The Pyroblast coming out as well. Speaking of, Raynor falling low, go for the throw, but that looks like a dead Raynor to me. Bada bing, bada boom. There the Raynor goes. Diablo looking for more. Khaldor, ETC, the light bomb. Is he going to live?
Nope. Second kill right there, and that's 5 kills to 0, by the way. That Punisher is just still one of the strongest. If you have a frozen Punisher and you time your attack well, then you can do so much work here. Now, the earlier level 13 talent helped them, of course, too, but they are really doing work right now. They control the map, they still have Blaze all the way up at the top. 5 kills to 0, also have the vision now that they can take the, despite the changes to those fountains, they can take that down as well. So, really nice control now from the mushrooms, and Team Memory is definitely struggling quite a bit at this point. Coming back into this is not going to be easy for them. They really need to start getting some kills here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see them potentially try and force before the 16 advantage Jackpot in the mid lane. Okay, he is just gonna be able to dive out, but I would expect to see the red team just play a bit passive. You already see them instantly doing the bot siege camp, looking to just get maximum XP. Crow as well, just using abundance off cooldown, trying to farm Praise the Sun some more globes. It looks like he is at 42 globes at 10 minutes. This man is going for a record. That's insane. Like 42 globes at the end of a game is a good game, and like he's only level 15 now at 44. Wow.
Yeah, he's been killing it yesterday too. He did a really good job on that hero. So, yeah, he's just insane. When it comes to that globe quest, he's nuts. I would love to see him on Stitches with Hungry for More and see how many hit points he ends up with in that game. That would be awesome.
The Globe Master. Yeah, I mean, because he effectively has like 4,000 HP as a Kel'Thas, which is a lot, right? Like a lot of people, I think, view Kel'Thas as a squishy hero, but since the hero has self-peel with stuns as well as that mana addict, oh, it looks like Diablo is going to be going in. 16 hasn't been achieved yet, but it looks like they don't care. The blue team split here. ETC needs to be careful on the top side. Diablo going deeper, and it looks like Yagras is going to get blown up here.
Yep, and that ragdoll gets kicked literally halfway across the map. But they're not stopping there. It's actually time for Reyna to die, maybe. Railgun is trying to prevent it. In comes, on the other hand, Greymane trying to jump in deep after this one, and they're still going for the kill here. Light Bomb is out, but there's a Lightning Breath. The fort is pretty much forfeit at this point if they focus it down, but they're looking for more kills instead, and D.Va is going deep. Now let's not forget, Blaze is actually not here. It's still 6 kills to 0. They have the level 16 talents now. The cooldown reduction for Alexstrasza is in play, and once more Diablo with the engage and the wall stun as they're looking for another kill.
Stage dive from ETC. This could be scary. This could be okay. Looks like they are going for the Diablo on the bot side. If they get his souls, this is actually a really big kill. Diablo trying to walk out, is going to get slid here. Praise the Sun. Can he peel for him? Looks like he is going to be able to get the ETC slide, but wasn't a mistake. D.Va with the good body box actually not going to be able to get it. Praise the Sun trying to walk out here. Does use the 16 ignite. Raynor.
Still has the gravity lapse ready. And that Riptire shouldn't be able to do anything either. Dibble's actually coming back in, and they're trying to go for the kill right away against Jimmy, pushing him into the towers. ETC also in trouble as Jimmy walks out, and he is down. Light Bomb or no Light Bomb, nothing that could be done there. Another 5 versus 4, and they are still on the chase. Good penetrating round, keeping them at bay at least for now. But Team Memory with 1 kill, 1 against Diablo, and once again down in numbers as the next objective spawns.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the objective going the way. Diablo actually doing a good job, potentially looking to sneak into the Bruiser camp. Okay, it looks like he is just going to be rotating top, maybe looking for the D.Va. Thought he was maybe going to check on that Raynor, but it looks like D.Va actually is going to be forced to use the mech. Are they going to be able to get a follow-up stun? Looks like they are not, but, you know, blue team going to be forced to, again, play from the back foot, forced to, you know, try and defend their mid keep. They may potentially lose it. If they do lose a hero or two here, it could potentially be, you know, a scary situation. Losing a keep is never a good situation. I think they should be able to defend it if they play it pretty safely, but the aggression, I mean, Diablo, we consistently see him just going in, and I mean, he's not really getting punished for it. I mean, he did just die, but consistently in these team fights, I feel like he's able to go pretty deep, do a lot of damage, and not play too scarce, but he doesn't have souls now, so that is something that maybe he needs to be a little bit conscious of. John Cena gonna jump on over. It looks like they are just gonna be taking this mid wall. Would you like to see him potentially go top 4 here? Diablo.
Yeah, jumps over the wall, but here comes the life binder ult. So ready and good to go, but the burn against the Punisher is just crazy. They're taking it down so quickly. There's no talent advantage, so the Mushrooms are playing this a little bit more safe than they did throughout the entire game. Not quite the aggression that they showed earlier. But of course, the blue team wants to fight. Here comes the light bomb with the stage dive. They combo it off. Riptire comes through, and Greymane is down. The second kill is in play for Team Memory, as they are hoping for more. They need those kills. Praise the Sun survives thanks to the shield that he has. They burn the mech down, but Diddles is low too, and he gets eliminated by Jimmy. Once again, the stacks reset here, and they are still chasing, still hoping for a bit more, but it's unrealistic that they can get another kill here.
Khaldor, you called it. The stage dive light bomb setting up the kill onto the Greymane. I mean, I was a bit skeptical, and I'll tell you first, I was wrong. Diablo, though, the KT was able to hit Ignite. It looks like they are going to be looking for the Diablo here. Good route coming out by Anduin. Raynor just looking for this. Kael'thas actually flanking. Okay, they are just going to be able to take out the siege camp. But yeah, I mean, that was a really, really good execution. The light bomb plus the stage dive. If they're able to consistently do that, then, you know, it worked well in their team fight, right? They were able to get pretty much the one shot on the Greymane. If they're able to do that into this next team fight as well with the, you know, I would assume level 20 stage dive upgrade, I actually think they could turn these fights around. I do think they need to ideally be the ones initiating, because I feel like they keep kind of getting gone on from the Diablo, and it feels like, you know, fights are not going their way. But level 20, a huge power spike in my opinion for Kael'thas, able to get that flamethrower talent. Blaze in the top lane though, maybe a bit out of position. Jackpot trying to run away, has bunker, might be okay. I mean, has no team, but
the team's coming. The team's on the way, and they got the 20, so they need to kill him first, and Diablo is nearly here. Ooh. Here comes the medallion, and he actually makes it out with the jet propulsion. Praise the Sun, misses the gravity lapse on the other hand. The Hellgate comes in as they're trying to go for the kill. Riptire out as well. Diablo isolated a little bit. Oh, the jet propulsion, big one! And here comes the Pyroblast, and yep, that didn't do a whole lot, but they still get the kills against Jimmy and Junkrat. And that's a 5 versus 3, ladies.
Yeah, I mean, Jackpot with the huge stone, but they want more. It looks like Diablo's going in. Light bomb as well onto the ETC, trying to zone. Yagras trying to kite out. Jackpot barely gonna miss the jet propulsion, but Jackpot first with the bait, convincing the blue team, hey, you know what? Come try and kill me. My team's not gonna come in time. They have bunker, able to actually turn it around, hitting the huge 3 or 4 man jet propulsion, setting up those 2 kills and enabling them to get a keep and potentially be able to end the game with this next Punisher. I mean, this looks like a very dire situation for the blue team. They have to really try and turn it around. They have to look to force once they get level 20, because there's going to be a huge Punisher walking down 17 minutes, potentially running, trying to kill their core. Their mid keep as well is pretty low, so if they try and pull it towards mid, they still could potentially lose the game. I mean, this is 100% going to be a Punisher going the way of the red team.
Yeah, honestly, if they kill Blaze in that encounter at the top quickly enough, then they have a great situation going for themselves, so I can totally understand why they took the bait there. And it felt like he could have died, but the last jet propulsion got him out of harm's way after he popped the medallion, and that was nicely done by him. Now we have at least 20 versus 20 talents as we're going for potentially the final fight of this game here. Good damage against Jimmy already as we're having the flame strikes connect from Kael'thas. The pull as Railgun is trying to put on the big boy boots here and carries the team. But the Punisher gets taken. The Mushrooms, they have it. And now it's time to just, yeah, run away and try and set up a defense around the core, which is, as we said, not going to be easy considering that we're having now a pretty massive push happening. And there's even some trouble in the mid lane where 2 catapults could lock onto the keep soon and take it down too.
Yeah, I'd love to see Junkrat potentially try and clear that up real quick, because I mean, if they do pull the Punisher towards mid, And the mid-key falls, but it looks like, speaking of Punisher, it is going to jump out of the ETC. Railgun with another save, going to be able to pull ETC out. And the Punisher is actually just going to walk right past the mid-keep and go towards the core here. It looks like Diva doesn't have mech yet. Stage dive going in. ETC is going to get instantly stunned by Praise the Sun. Black Cat on the Junkrat, though, is just going to get blown up. Diablo in the right position. Pyroblast as well. Railgun taking big damage from the Fire Lord himself. And Rainer's going to fall as well. It appears 3 heroes dead for the blue team. Core going down to 20%. This is going to be GG, going the way of the red team. I mean, I feel like they played that game really, really well. Khaldor, I was really impressed with their rotations, as well as, you know, their Diablo, I think, just did a really good job at pushing, you know, the envelope, just constantly being, I mean, it looks like we're going to be going.
Yep, all right. Mushrooms, ladies and gentlemen. Ahead in the series, we have Battlefield of Eternity popping up as our second map. And off we go. Team Memory with a good attempt on map number 1, but Infernal Shrines proved to be the home ground of the Mushrooms, at least for today. Second map could, of course, lead to a 2-0 victory over here. And let's see if the Chinese team can fight back. And also, we discussed it just a second ago, Michael, if we're going to see that Anduin again for Memory, if a Railgun goes into the support once more.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like you said, it's a hero that he prioritizes. Anduin, I mean, definitely a hero that I think is pretty strong in the meta. I think a tier below something like an Ana or a Stukov, but it looks like those heroes have been banned. I mean, it is going to be a Rainer first ban. Would expect to see Greymane and maybe Leeming be pretty high prioritized as far as DPS goes on this map.
I mean, Jimmy banned out, can definitely see that here. Leeming, usually, as you said, really high. You still have Vala with Arrow, even though, at least on the European side, you see it occasionally, but it's not. It's always an option, but it's never really your first move, I feel. So normally, as you said, we have the Li Ming there. We have Hanzo coming back a little bit more lately, so you can use him in that position too. Chromie gets banned again. She's obviously also super impactful with a continuous poke. But yeah, here's the Stukov ban again. On the Asian server, we saw it yesterday in the quarterfinals. He is just insanely high in a priority for all the teams that we've been watching so far.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, I do think it's interesting that from first pick they did choose to ban the Stukov, because that kind of, to me, tells me that they're okay basically not getting Ana or Stukov, because if they leave one up, then they'll probably leave both up. But it does look like the Greymane first pick. I mean, Greymane, amazing race on this map, also brings blow up potential if you go Curse Bullet or go for the throat. Also really just good merc and map pressure in general. I think a really strong first pick for the red team here.
Alright, so with Greymane in, let's see what else we're going to get, especially on the side lane. I'm kind of interested to see. The one thing that really surprised me yesterday was the lack of Imperius. We had a few Imperius games, but not a lot, whereas in Europe he has been dominant for ages. And well, there we go. For our side laner, we already got the Gazlo in, and we have a Garrosh. That was actually also one thing. Yesterday, huge lost opportunity. They picked a Zarya Vala comp and didn't pick the Garrosh for the race car Garrosh with the speed bubble on level 4. That was a little bit tilting. And there we go. Capybara again. Diablo, as we said, preference pick for him.
Yeah, and they do get the Lucio as well. I mean, that was something that was banned out last game, right? So that definitely leads me to believe that Pro has a really strong Lucio. I mean, they opened with Diablo Greymane last game, and this game they got, you know, Diablo Greymane Lucio, which was the third ban from last game. So it sounds like this is very much the comfort picks for this team. It looks like, you know, this is definitely the composition they want. I actually think Garrosh Gazlo is pretty decent into this sort of dive. I mean, Garrosh, a hero that's pretty difficult to kill. Gazlo as well, pretty difficult to kill. And they both have some sort of CC crowd control for dive, Grav Bomb, Taunt as well. That's kind of AoE, can catch people off guards. But it looks like Leeming and Tysis Khaldor are going to be both the bans. What support would you like to see? I mean, it's probably going to be Anduin, right? It's probably going to be Anduin.
Yeah.
But what should they pair with it?
I mean, in terms of damage, they still need some Immortal Race, and we don't have that many good heroes for that left. So, as we said earlier, they could still go into the Vala, could go for an arrow build here. That's probably what I would prefer if they can find a good setup for that. Hanzo, we talked about the scatter arrow, they go for that. We have Anduin as expected. I mean, Railgun, he prefers that hero hugely. So now that they have Hanzo, I mean, it depends. They could even pair that off with a bit more immortal damage, but on the other side, at this point, they don't even have to anymore if they want to go for the team fights here. I mean, in the last game, their problem was honestly that they lost a lot of the team fights. So on the objective, if they can just raise it around the immortal, it might be the better option for them. If Gazlo can set up, for example, that would be a good setup. I wouldn't even mind seeing a triple frontline, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, into Chen too. I actually think that would be pretty solid. Hanzo with the solo backline DPS does provide a lot. I mean, but we are going to see Chen and Tassadar coming out to round out the composition. Chen, I mean, definitely kind of an orthodox hero, but it does seem pretty solid. Sylvanas, last pick. Yeah. I mean, Wailing Arrow, very good into dive. Crow is going to need to be careful because, you know, if he gets a Wailing Arrow while he's trying to get his beat drop, that could absolutely turn the fight. So that's going to be kind of the matchup I'm going to be looking at in team fights.
Well, we're jumping in. Battlefield of Eternity, everybody. Let's check it out. Game number 2 coming up now between Team Memory and the Mushrooms. China versus Korea. So let's see which team takes it and if we are getting a third map or if the Mushrooms take it with a 2-0. Yeah, Chen got played yesterday, actually, quite a bit too. And was pretty dangerous in some situations.
Are they going barrel or...
We've seen both, but Triple Panda was a little bit more played. But yeah, we've seen both, actually.
I mean, I'd prefer to see Panda here. I mean, I think it'd be pretty hard for them to deal with Panda.
The
right?
problem,
like if he pandas and just dumps on Handa, you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, listen to it. All right, game on, everybody. We are in game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity, and on the left side, a Chinese team, Team Memory with Yagaras on Garrosh, Black Cat on Hanzo, Railgun again on Anduin, as we already expected. We have Sungchuan on Sylvanas and Zio on Gazlo. On the right side, Capybara on Diablo. We got Abdo on Greymane, Praise the Sun, again on the Mage, playing Tacita this time. And Crow on Lucio with Jackpot and Chen. And, well, we just talked a little bit about Chen. So, with the ults that we have, we've seen both yesterday. We've seen the top keg plays and we've seen the Triple Panda. But honestly, I gotta say that one of the ults that was probably hit the hardest by the introduction of Medallion was also Chen's keg, because it's just so crazy how you can always just like pop that and the ult just goes and does absolutely nothing. And that was one of the big problems when they actually went into the Wandering Keg yesterday. So what do you think about those setups now?
Yeah, it's like with Gladiator's Medallion, you just have to, like, you have to do a really good job at tracking it, because otherwise it's pretty much just a free save every single time you use Keg. So, I mean, personally, I'd like to see Panda Pals. I think it's really good, you know, with it's a fairly squishy backline of a Sylvanas, Hanzo, and Anduin, right? So if Chen's able to get back there, he will definitely be wreaking havoc. Crow potentially on the Lucio could help as well. It looks like both teams just going to be posturing here. I mean, Jackpot and Gazlo in the top lane just going to be 1v1ing. Does one of these teams have like a major favorable early game advantage, do you think? Or... Oh.
I mean, it depends a little bit on when the Immortal spawns, but I could totally see Memory walk away with the first Immortal if they have a good rotation and a good macro level. They have Hanzo for the scatter arrows as the first. You can come in with Sylvanas and chip in some extra damage, and Gazlo can either siege up more and so on the defense, or also doing some extra work as well. So I think on the Immortal race, if they play their cards right and make the rotation immediately, the blue team could walk away with the early game lead simply by winning the objective.
Yeah, no, I mean, agree. They have a lot of race. I think a lot of this game is going to fall on how well does the Diablo get flanked onto the backliner, right? If he's trying to walk front to back, Garrosh is almost always going to, you know, stop his engage. But if he is able to rotate over, and one thing I do want to know, guys, Chen in the middle of the map, rotating down here, does have rotation. That's probably why we're going to see the blue team backing off here. Okay, it looks like they are walking back in. This is going to be a 4v5. Good force wall coming out by Praise the Sun. And they are just going to be able to secure the camp. And Jackpot going to run back top to try and secure the rest of that soak. They are able to get the siege camp, which now, you know, that is more XP going the way of the red team. Diablo.
Yeah, and top side, he catches everything. I mean, again, so the experience globes has obviously now even more time to make these rotations, and this is exactly what the Mushrooms are exploiting here. We have again, as we've seen yesterday too, the Withering Flame as the level 4 talent for Chen, so they really like that particular style to leech onto someone here. And of course, it's camp time. First objective about to spawn. We got the serrated arrows also now coming in. Both teams on level 4, which gives us the unstoppable frames for Garrosh. So now that we have the Indomitable, he can definitely make some plays against Diablo here.
Yeah, Withering Flames, I mean, going to be really good into Sylvanas, especially as well as Hanzo. I mean, Hanzo W is going to be, you know, primarily magic damage. So if you are able to, you know, get a W onto... you know, the Hanzo there, it will stop a lot of that damage. So I actually do like that adaptation coming out by the Chen, or I don't know if that is kind of the standard. And it looks like Garrosh in the bot lane, maybe looking for AP Dio. I mean, Sylvanas could pressure this bot lane, and it looks like he is just going to rotate out, looking for the Immortal Crow. Doing a good job pushing the Garrosh away. Hanzo, though, during all of this, Black Cat able to just get some race. Sylvanas as well. Like you said, Khaldor, they're both, you know, here in position, getting a lot of damage down, but Greymane and Tassadar as well. Both teams, it looks like, are just okay racing. Jackpot, though, jumping in here. Sylvanas potentially going to get Immortal Stone, actually going to get pulled out of it, and that is going to be the faith, or full of faith from Railgun saving the Sylvanas. But I mean, pretty much even here as far as the race goes.
Yeah, I feel like for Team Memory we had a couple of heroes just not in position at the start. They were a bit late on clearing the lane from the camp, and Gazlo could join therefore with quite a bit of delay. But here comes the attempt again to burn it down, and the blue team is going for it. They're putting everything onto the Immortal. Greymane is trying to race it as he can, but it seems like we're gonna have a winner, and it is the blue team. Walking away with Immortal #1 and already going for the chase here, trying to praise the sun down. Doesn't seem like they can get him. Instead, we might even see a counter kill against Garrosh up at the top. A bit more damage coming out. Nice combo, good stun. Another flip into the backline. They're going for Dibbles, and he makes it out. No! Sylvanas dives in deep. They get the kill against Tassadar, but Sylv dies too, and I can't really help myself but feel that that wasn't worth the trade, considering that she could help the push at the top now.
Yeah, I mean, they would have potentially been able to get a fort with that Sylvanas being able to disable everything. I mean, with Diablo getting out with so low HP, I think Crow on that Lucio, I mean, this was target ban last game, and it was probably target ban for a reason. Crow shown us why they were afraid of this Lucio. I mean, he did such a good job at kind of speeding people out at the right moment, getting them, you know, out with about 10 HP. Himself and Diablo both were super low, and Jackpot in the bot lane looking for the Hanzo. Good force wall coming out. D has been forced. Yeah, and it looks like you go.
Yeah, it jumps out, and well, top side, Gazlo is pretty much alone. Shen makes the rotation now. The interesting part is that the Rue team is actually still a little bit behind in the experience after all of this. We only have seen 2 kills so far, and Gazlo is now moving down to help out here, whereas Shen has to stay topside to soak the experience. So there's an opportunity maybe to force a 5 versus 4 here, but they just can't hold the camp long enough for Gazlo to complete the rotation and really help out here.
But unstoppable from Garrosh, actually allowing them to potentially, you know, force out that Gladiator's Medallion on the Diablo. That is a 5-second cooldown. And it looks like Gazlo is just going to run back towards the top side, but Crow potentially looking for a dismount. Gazlo could actually be in a bit of a scary situation here as Jackpot is running over. Okay, he is going to be okay, but they are losing a bit of soak for this. They are losing some XP globes. I do like that rotation coming out by Lucio. I mean, they lost the whole, you know, 3 minions, or the 3 melee minions. So it's like small micro advantages, right? It doesn't win the game, but those, you know, small micro advantages will add up. And yeah, exactly. Like that really is what differentiates good teams and great teams. Is, you know, how many times throughout a game are you able to do that? And it looks like both teams are going to be potentially fighting over this top siege camp. Sylvanas rotating in, Tassadar a bit late, so it is going to be a 4v5 for the blue team. APDO is going to be able to just secure it though and walk away.
Yeah, they're trying to go for the camp now, so Tassadar staying at the bot lane, and someone has to really meet this and move back down to get those globes, and Sylvanas is the one trying to do that. So she's moving in just as we now have the objective announced again. There's still a bit of a brawl happening up at the top. They're trying to go for Greymane here, and he might just be in trouble, but he gets out once again. Lucio being ready and Jackpot helping out too with the Panda. Objectives are up though, and Sylvanas is now moving in with the rest of them. Actually trying to a little bit undecisive here. Not really sure what to do. Also didn't know about the position of the opponent's team here 100%. And win with a save as Garrosh is in trouble. Level 10 abilities are in, and here comes the lightning breath and the double kill. Nicely done. Well played by the mushrooms. Perfect timing for that heroic ability.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably where some of that indecision came out from the Sylvanas. Probably saying, wait, team, they're 10 XP for off TED. We probably don't want this team fight. And I think Sylva's probably a bit right there, but really good capitalization coming out by the red team, recognizing they were about to hit level 10. And one thing I do want to note, Storm, Earth, and Fire, Panda Pals has been the pick for the Chen. I do think it's going to be pretty good. Both teams just racing up here. Red team should be able to secure it, but they are actually giving up a decent amount of mortal health for this. I mean, they don't have ults, so I do think this is probably the correct call. Crow, really good job coming out by Crow here, able to, you know, proc the bruiser camp, added pressure for their immortal push.
Yeah, and now of course this one could hurt quite a bit. Well, we have the grabber bomb in. We got also, it's actually there is a little bit of wombo potential here too. You have Hanzo's arrow, you have Sylvanas with the Veiling arrow potential follow-up, and of course to set it all up, the grabber bomb here. So with a really good setup, if they get that hit just once, that could change things. Right now, there's no denying that Team Mushrooms has again an advantage, and that's even before that Immortal push yields any dividends. So now that they're moving in here with pretty much all ults available outside of Diablo, who will be back in just a moment, they should be able to get the fort, and they might be able to pick up some kills. Arrow on Chen, and he gets denied, the ult gets taunted too, and that's a kill. Beautiful play by Team Memory, a double kill, and that kill against Chen in particular was just awesome. He wanted to go for the ult, the channel gets interrupted, they lock him down, and then they get the second kill against Lucio.
Yeah, that was because he tried to use his Gladiator's Medallion plus the Storm Earth and Fire, but I think he used his Gladiator's Medallion a little bit too early. But that is like such a small window to get a CC to stop that ult. Really good job, Khaldor Sylvanas. Oh, Gladiator's Medallion is going to be forced in the bot lane, and APGO on the Greymane is going to be thrown in. Lightning Breath is going to zone away for his carries. Jagras looks like he wants a little bit more. I mean, they still... Okay, it is going to be a 5v5 here down in the bot lane. Back hat trying to kite out, is going to be taking a lot of damage. Railgun healing for them. Garrosh trying to kite out here. Good two-man taunt, and Salvation is going to come out helping peel for the Garrosh. Jackpot doesn't want to let him leave. Archon pop by Praise the Sun. It looks like they are looking for more. They want some kills here. Panda Pal's going out as well. The Grab Bomb going to pull 3 in, but 3 of them are Panda Pals. Yaslo is going to fall. Huge Hanzo arrow, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so.
Doesn't look like it. 4 kills to 3. The level 13 talent is now in as well. And it was a really nice attempt to get away from this one. I mean, every single hero chipping in here with a few stuns, with some heals, displacement, but now it's just a snowball. Down goes Sylvanas, and they have way more momentum now. The Mushrooms got stopped at the top lane after they took the fort down, but here at the bottom, they have all the time in the world to take the camp. They're looking at a good setup for the next Immortal 2, and who knows, they might even be able to get some additional damage onto the fort here. Might even just dive it at this point. The problem is that Chen is already up at the top.
Yeah, I mean, fort falling low, going down to half. Red team. Looks like they are just going to kite out. I mean, near the end of the team fight, that Sylvanas, I want to know, died to Praise the Sun, dropping the force wall, and the Diablo instantly following up and devastating charge off of it. That's the type of play that takes a lot of communication, and it takes like high level, you know, synergy, right? Because you don't have that much time. Tastar kind of calls out, I'm force walling, look for the charge. Just a really, really high level execution play that they were able to make and got them a kill.
Yeah, so now Immortal is up, both teams with even talents, so at least that's going for Team Memory. They're not falling behind on that end. Gaslow trying to look for the setup, gets it, nicely done, the arrow follows, beautiful combo, and that's a kill, baby. That's a double right here. The flip into the Immortal stun, and what a follow-up. Oh my god, Team Memory showing up in that fight. And I talked about that Gaslow setup earlier, but I did honestly not really believe that we would see it, but there it is. The setup with the Gravel Bomb, the Hanzo arrow in, and then they just drop 2 immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Chef's Kiss, oh my gosh. What Zio with a 2-man setup into the, you know, 2-man or 3-man Hanzo arrow, because I think it hit Greymane as well, and then Sylvanas as well following up from that, allows them to get 2 kills, allows them to get half of the race, but are they going to be able to finish the Immortal here? Diablo going in. I mean, they did go for a 10 kill and wasted, I think, a bit of time. They may not be able to finish the Immortal before Lucio and Tastar run in here. Jackpot looking for more Immortal, falling low, down to about 2,000 HP. Sylvanas forced to kite out here. Looks like they may just have to reset. Panda Pal, Storm Earth Fire is going to come out. Salvation as well. Anduin trying to kite out. Jagras on the Garrosh, trying his best. Force wall, barely going to miss the Grab Bomb. Is just going to hit the, you know, 10 Panda Pals. But the Immortal is down to just about 2,000 HP here.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win it, but if they can just reduce the shield a bit, that would already be a small victory. And yeah, I mean, they get a couple of 1,000 hit points off, but nothing really too crazy. This is still going to be a massive shield here for Team Memory. And they are now also ahead in kills, so they're doing a fantastic job as they attempt to make it back into the game. Now, only a single fort has fallen thus far, and that's the one up at the top. Half a level is missing for the Mushrooms to get 16, but I don't think it's going to be ready for the defense here, so they need to face this on even talents.
Yeah, I mean, there is top knight pressure as well. It looks like Jackpot is going to be pushing up there, so that's one thing we have to keep note of. 16 may be achieved for the red team before. Actually, it'll probably be pretty even as the fort is going to fall. Diablo on the bot side, potentially looking for a flank here. Jagras as well on the Garrosh, looking for someone. I mean, they haven't seen Diablo in a bit, so they probably should, you know that something could potentially be up, that he's potentially playing on a flank, and that looks like you see Garrosh checking bushes, trying to find the Diablo. and they, you know, do see him now, so they are going to be able to walk over. It is going to be a 5v5 as both of the offlaners walk in now. Grapple Bomb is back up. That is kind of, you know, the cooldown to watch as far as these team fights going. It's going to go out, and it is going to miss. 16 has been achieved, though. Diablo thrown in with the taunt as well. Hanzo arrow is going to hit sound barrier. Silence as well. Diablo so low, but Sylvanas on the other side is going to die. Salvation not going to be enough, Khaldor.
Really nicely done here. Sylv down, they're chasing for more. Dibbles even moving in too, and they get the triple kill. They go for the next one, and they eliminate Garrosh as well. That turned quickly, and topside gets pushed in the meantime by the camp, by the way. There's a catapult there too, and we actually see Gazlo moving in to deal with it. The problem is that the rest of the red team is now coming in as well. They want that keep, and there's nobody really to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvanas is up in 8 seconds, but I don't think it's going to be in time. This looks like a keep going the way of the red team after they had, you know, pretty much an 80% shield immortal to defend. They lost some damage on their bot keep, right? So their bot keep is about half HP. So if the blue team does win a team fight, they could secure that keep. But I mean, that's about as good as it goes when you lose the immortal to be able to get the opposing team's keep. And one thing that I want to note, Crow, on this Lucio, the last 2 times the immortal finished, both times he procced the bruiser camp. Really smart heads up awareness play coming out by the Lucio, using his speed to, you know, secure his team that extra map pressure. Because if they didn't have that camp, I don't think they get the keep.
Yeah, and now also the rotation earlier. I mean, it was initially the Panda that pushed it out a bit. Gazlo wanted to deal with it, but he had to rotate back down to help the team with the push. Big arrow missed completely and is heading straight to North America.
To miss as well. Feels good. Oh, looks like Graph Bomb is gonna miss, but Hanzo dying. 40 seconds to salvation. Barely a bit late, but taunt. They're looking for the Chen here. He does have Storm Earth and Fire. This looks disastrous for the blue team. No, they actually were able to secure the Chen. Chen died in the back lane. His Storm Earth Fire got interrupted. 1 for 1. Garrosh trying to kite out Archon as well. Garrosh gonna fall, so they are gonna lose 2 heroes, but they were able to get the Chen, and Hanzo is up in 20 seconds. Yeah. They may be able to defend this immortal.
I would be massively pissed if I'm Chen and hate Sylvanas, because that's now the 2nd or 3rd time that Sylvanas just shut him down as he was about to channel. So she gets the Wailing Arrow through, and then Chen dies. They still get the better trade though, 2 for 1 in their favor, and that of course gives them easy access to the objective. They take the halftime show on the Immortal, and now they have a solid chance to lock the objective in. And, I mean, let's just face it, fights or no fights, with 11 kills to 7 in the situation as is, if they get a good Immortal here, that bottom keep is toast.
Yeah, I mean, then potentially could be the game as well. Diablo in the backline actually potentially in a bit of a scary situation. Crow walking over, trying to help him kite out. Sylvanas can get wallbanged. Gaslow is going to miss the grab bomb. Zio actually on the gas, falling low. Greymane, though, as well, needs to be a bit careful. Hanzo Arrow is going to stop the sound barrier. It is going to be on 5-second cooldown, but Greymane walks out, and Anduin trying to peel for the Hanzo, trying to peel for the Sylvanas. Diablo in the backline just doing so much damage, and Sylvanas is going to fall here as well. This looks absolutely disastrous for the blue team. A full HP immortal and 4 heroes dead.
Yeah, they just lost everything. That Immortal still has 200 hit points. I mean, technically, they could have even waited, moved back, and simply just topped their hit point mana pool off at the fountain before they re-engage. They're not really under that pressure, but this is just nuts now. They have a massive lead. They are 2 levels ahead. The stats advantage through this is already crazy. Then you have the level 20 advantage, a full shield Immortal pretty much. They're gonna go for game here.
Yeah, Perma Archon as well. If Tastar chooses to choose it at level 20. I mean, I would be surprised if he doesn't, as, you know, Perma Archon, really strong talent. This is a potentially GG push. Hanzo is up now. Sylvanas in 1 second. Anduin in 3. This is, you know, a last-ditch effort. They need a big wombo combo. The grab bomb, the Wailing Arrow, the Hanzo Arrow. They need to look for something here, and they need to look for it fast. Actually, they go for Force Berry at level 20. Or the Tastar, they want more picks, they want more pick potential. Yeah. The Immortal still at half HP.
Well, Keep is already about to fall, so they get that. They're looking for the pick here. Diablo following up after the wall immediately. Here comes Gazlo, going only for the Pandas on the other hand, and Garrosh is already in trouble as he gets pushed out again. Another Force Wall is already on the ground as the Immortal starts attacking the core here. Catapults are starting to zone into. The shields are rapidly falling as the rest of the team is trying to defend here, but Gazlo's in trouble. So is Garrosh, and the core is falling as they're starting to right-click the shit out of it. Everybody in the blue team side struggling to get anything done here, but there's just no way. The Mushrooms are picking up another victory, and they decide the series in their favor with a 2-0 GG. Well played.
Yeah, very well played. I mean, there were some signs of life too. They had that huge grav bomb wombo combo, but it really just